Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Illinois Democratic Congressman who represents the very area we're talking about, Luis Gutiérrez. Good to have you, sir.
Good to be with you, Kate.
You're from Chicago. I want to start just your reaction to the mayor coming out today and saying Garry McCarthy is out as a police superintendent.
Look, I wake up every morning trying to figure out how I keep the country safe. I'm sure the mayor wakes up trying to figure out how he keeps the city safe. Safety is a primary concern, I think, of every elected official. If it isn't, it should be. The only way we're going to keep, one of the ways we're going to make sure we keep people safe is if the police and the public in general have good communication. I think the trust between the public and the city of Chicago and the Chicago Police Department has been broken, and it needs to be rebuilt. And I think the first step is taking that step and finding a new police superintendent in the city of Chicago. McCarthy may have reduced the crime statistics, but not the level of trust which is necessary to exist between the people of the city of Chicago. So I think we're headed in the right direction.
Congressman, do you think other steps need to be taken? You were an early supporter of the Cook County State's Attorney, Anita Alvarez. Do you support her today?
No, let me just say this to you. Anita Alvarez, I was very proud to support her 8 years ago when she first announced. I campaigned for her. A few months ago, we sat down, the state's attorney and I made a commitment to her that I was going to support her in her reelection. I informed, and it wasn't easy for me. There aren't a lot of Latino elected officials in high positions, like members of Congress or much less state's attorneys like Anita Alvarez is. So it was very difficult to me, but I informed her today that I'm not asking her to resign, but I'm not going to support her in her reelection effort, and I'm not going to be voting for her next March. I think we need a new candidate in the Democratic primary for state's attorney. We need somebody, and it's very simple. It was very difficult for me. I anguished. It was a very difficult decision. I think the world of Anita Alvarez on a personal level, but I think she let Laquan McDonald down. That indictment should not have happened last week. It should have happened 13 months ago. And she's the state's attorney, and she's the one that we give our trust to, that she's going to make sure that justice is done for all, and I think she failed on that account, and so I'm not going to support her for re-election. I can't. I think she failed us.
What about Rahm Emanuel? I want to play a little bit of sound from the noon press conference today about his handling of all of this. Our reporter Stephanie Goss questioned him about whether he's lost the trust of his people too. Take a listen.
Mr. McCarthy had become a distraction. There are a lot of questions in this room about you and your office. Have you become a distraction as well?
Well, you'll make that judgment. I think I'm doing my job, and I try to do it every day and do it in a professional way.
Congressman, what's your judgment?
Look, I think the mayor did the right thing. I think we shouldn't simply step as though putting together a commission is something that isn't going to be doing something. Let's wait. Part of what the mayor has encouraged and trusted and empaneled the commission to do is to look at when it is that you release these kinds of tapes, how quickly you can release them, how more transparent. Look, we have a problem which exploded on the national scene because of the murder of the 17-year-old black youth at the hands of Chicago police officers. But there is much more that occurs in the city of Chicago that has occurred in the past. There are great Chicago police officers who every day go out there to serve and to protect me and all the rest of the citizens of the city of Chicago. But you know what? The good police officers have to stand up to the bad police officers. If we're going to have a police force that's going to merit the respect and is going to have the integrity, which is essential if we're going to move forward. So look, I'm really happy and delighted that we have somebody of the caliber of the former governor of Massachusetts, Patrick Duvall, to come, and I think he's empaneled a great group. I'm going to work on it, and I think the investigation continues. This is not over. So don't think we have a panel of the investigation. The FBI is on it, the U.S. Attorney's Office is on it, and the Justice Department must continue to investigate because we need a new layer, because obviously the police commissioner and the state's attorney's office let us down.